Big John, Big John.
Shut Up and Cook, episode number 2, cooking episode number 1. I'm Chris Hall, the host of Shut Up and Cook, and by now you've seen the first episode, which tells you all the things that you need to be a fledgling cook in your kitchen. If you have not watched episode 1, stop right now and go back and watch the stinking episode. It takes like 15 minutes and it's funny and it'll get you places where you need to go. If you are a veteran of my show, welcome back. Today we gonna cook. Amazing. We are in the South as we film this. It is morning, and when you eat in the South in the morning, we don't do crepes, we don't do croissants, we do real food. So today on Shut Up and Cook, it's biscuits and gravy. Now, these are great, these are fun, and they're simple. We're not going to use these. Today we're going to learn how to cook biscuits. So these, bye-bye. Now, we're going to switch over to the cooking station and show you all the things that you need to make your biscuits and your gravy. Okay, so we're gathering our ingredients to make the biscuits first because we got to get them rolling before we can think about the gravy. Now, in order to make proper biscuits, we're going to need some flour, we're going to need some baking powder, baking soda, a little bit of salt, some butter, some shortening, and some buttermilk. Now, let's go ahead and show you how to combine all of these ingredients. Alright, we got our all-purpose flour here. We're using 2 cups, and you have to sift it. So we've got a sifter. You put your flour in. Some folks have the grindy sifter, some have the trigger sifter, but this is just a beat it against your hand sifter. So we do this until it's all gone, and then once it's all sifted, our flour is good to go. Now that we've got our 2 cups of all-purpose flour sifted correctly, we're going to add in our dry ingredients, which is 4 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. There we go. Let's mix that up just a little bit. Alright, great, it's mixed. Now it's time to cut in our fat. What we have here, I have cubed 2 tablespoons of butter. Put that in now. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening. Get in there. Oh, and if your hands ain't clean, go wash your damn hands, okay? That's gross. You ought to bathe once in a while. You're gross, okay? Wash your damn hands. Nasty. Jesus Christ. Okay. We've got our fat in the flour and other junk, okay? What do we do now? We use our clean hands and we get it all in there and we start doing this number. I know it feels funky, but you've had your hands in grosser stuff. I know you have, you old pervert. So anyway, here we go. Now I'm going to do this until it comes to the right consistency, and we'll go ahead and cut away until we get to there. Okay, I've been kneading in this fat into the dry ingredients for about, 45 minutes now. Nah, I'm just kidding, it didn't take that long. You can see here to where it's starting to look more like breadcrumbs than it was that pillowy sifted all-purpose flour. And so now that it looks the right way, I stop and I'm going to add my buttermilk. Hooray! Our mix is ready. We're going to incorporate the buttermilk now. This is 3/4 cup. We're going to pour it in the big bowl. Now, I hope we get the rest of the filming right for this shot because we only have 1 set of mix. So, now we're going to take our big spoon. Remember the big spoon? You ought to. I told you to have it in the first episode. We're going to incorporate this buttermilk into the mix. We're going to stir slow until it turns into a dough. You're not going to stir real fast. You're not going to whisk. You're not going to do that nonsense. We're just going to stir it around and around until it's all mixed in there into a big Play-Doh-y glop. And look at there. What'd I tell you? Big glop of Play-Doh. I know you used to eat Play-Doh when you was in kindergarten. I know you did. I didn't, but you was nasty. So anyway, we got a big block of Play-Doh. Now what do? Well, we got to roll it out. So we take a little bit of flour, this flour here, and spread it on our counter just a little bit. Make sure your counter's clean. Oh, make sure the counter's clean. If it's nasty, just stop and start again and clean your counter. Anyway, so we got some flour, spread out a little bit, get rid of this, take our dough, awesome, and get us some flour on it, make sure it doesn't stick nothing. And then we're going to take a rolling pin. I didn't tell you guys to get a rolling pin in episode number 1. Sue me. Use a rolling pin. Your mom's got a rolling pin, borrow one. If you really can't get one, you can pat it out with your hands. It's just not the same. So we flour a rolling pin, flour the counter, and we press, and we press, and we roll in every direction until it's about, 3/4 inch thick or so, 1/2 inch thick, whatever, however you like your biscuits. Now, it's about the right thickness, so it's almost time to cut them. Okay, so we've got the dough rolled out. We have to cut the biscuits into the appropriate shape. Now, this is a biscuit cutter. I don't expect you to have one, but if you've got one, that's awesome. If you don't have one, we're not making tomato biscuits. What you do is you take a can of tomato sauce that maybe you used the last night, or you take a small glass or whatever, open it, wash it out, make sure it's clean, and then it's about the right size to cut biscuits. So, whether you got a biscuit cutter or a can, whatever the hell you got, let's cut some biscuits. So we're going to cut our biscuits. We take our cutter, can, glass, dinosaur, silly bang, I don't know, dip it in the flour, and straight down and turn. Lo and behold, we have a biscuit. Place it on our cookie sheet that we have lined with aluminum foil. I told you to get aluminum foil. Now, I've sprayed mine with a butter-flavored cooking spray, baking spray. You can use whatever you want, that Pam crap. If you don't have that, you can use butter and lightly grease it, or you can use a shortening and lightly grease it. But I've got the spray. It's easy, so there we go. So, after each biscuit, we flour the cutter, come back, cut another biscuit, flour the cutter, come back, cut another biscuit, wash, rinse, repeat, like the shampoo tells you to do. And I kind of like mine a little close together, so when they bake up, they don't get crispy all the way around. Some of them have that nice moist inner edge. Moist. So we keep doing this until there's nowhere. I got no room. I can get one more right here. Here we go. We put this on right now. And now there's nowhere left to cut a biscuit. So we throw this all away. No, I don't throw it all away, you moron. We put it all back together. Make another one single dough ball out of it. Get our rolling pin back. Back to the size where it was, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick. And we can get 3 more biscuits. And you do this until it's all gone. And then you put them on your pan, and we get rid of them and take them to the oven. Dude, biscuits. Now all they got to do is cook. So we're going to go ahead and put these biscuits in a preheated 450-degree oven for... You didn't preheat... Do I have to tell you to do everything? Serious. Okay. Turn your oven on, wait until it's 450, then we're going to put them in like this. Do I have to show you how to do that too? Middle rack, close the door. Now, the funny thing about ovens is some of them take X amount and some of them take Y amount. So, check your biscuits at like 8 or 9 minutes to make sure your oven isn't, turning them into hockey pucks. It should take around 11 to 15 or so, but check them at 8, just to be sure. Now, we've got 8 to 15 minutes to kill. What are we going to do? We're going to make gravy. Sweet.